theoretical thrills, the theory of the thrill.
Oh boy!
In 3, 2, fun!
Hello and welcome to Theoretical Thrills. I'm your host, Brad.
I'm Spencer.
And I'm Chris.
And today we are joined by Jessie. Jessie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Hello.
Hello. It's a pleasure having you here. So before we jump into our topic today, we have to ask the question, what is your connection with theme parks?
What a great question. Well, okay. Most recently, so until recently, most of my experience was as an avid park goer, as in the person who will sit on the bench and cheer everyone else on while they go on rides, because I don't go on rides. They make me sick, but I really love the little kiddie attractions. But this past year, I have now, my park experience is I perform at a theme park.
Oh yeah? What theme park?
Perform at the theme park Universal Studios Hollywood. Have you heard of it?
I might have heard of it. We might have mentioned it.
What is that?
Yeah.
I know that one.
That's some small indie theme park? Or,
Yeah, something that no one's heard of, like some small indie park no one's heard of that has no money. Yeah, I do Hello Kitty there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I
Nice.
a little kitty suit. So it's actually been like the last few months I've learned a lot about theme parks that I never knew. So it's been very exciting.
Yeah,
That's exciting. 50% of this group right now works at Universal.
Really?
Wait,
but 100% have worked at a theme park at some point in their lives.
that's true.
True.
But Jesse, what was the most surprising new thing you've learned as a new theme park employee?
I think maybe like that something that at first seems like a scary fishbowl can actually be very cozy to have your head in.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Talking about these animated heads, that like when you first put them on, there's like a little bit of a panic, like you have to kind of change yourself out of the
Yeah, because you're all closed in.
Yeah, and so like once you moved through that, like it suddenly you just feel like you're like heads in a little cozy cottage, and you're like, oh, I'm in my cozy little cottage while my body's doing stuff.
So
I love that you described it that way. It's very you.
Yeah, but like
Cozy cottage.
no one can see what's happening inside the cottage. Like,
Hello, cottage.
is there stuff to control? Is there temperature? Is there...
yeah. So these are all great questions. So prior to performing this Hello Kitty thing, I for a long time actually was a fit model for a custom costume house that builds and designs a lot of the costumes that that are at a lot of the major parks, all the different Universal Studios, Warner Brothers, Disney. So I actually have had a lot of experience being in many different costumes because they're like building them on my body, and like, you know, playing around in them for the animators and stuff. So it kind of depends on like each different costume has like different capabilities. Some of them like one I did was like the 3 blind mice from Shrek. For their Christmas parade. They were building those costumes on me, and they had like a fan built into the head, which I found really interesting just because they were very heavy in fur and you'd be wearing those in Florida. But like the fan makes it so you cannot hear anything. So like, go over here. And I was like, it is not a nice day. I'm standing right here and going nowhere because I couldn't hear anything. Yeah. So they each have like different capabilities. What I like about the Hello Kitty head, it is just like a nice like hollow, like I said, fishbowl. And what it is there's what's called a halo inside. I'm like, you can't see it. It's I don't know why I'm still moving my arms like as if people are gonna watch. My hands are around my head. like a halo, a little like tiara. And so you have it, there is like a ruler on it, and you get it fitted to your head, and then that fits inside the kitty head. And then there's like a perpendicular ruler where you can like lower, like you can raise and lower the head accordingly so that it sits higher or lower on your shoulders. So for different holidays, they have what are called overlays, where they have, you know, there's like the regular neutral director kitty, and then like for Halloween there would be like a Bride of Frankenstein overlay. So the way these costumes sit on you are different, and the weight's different. So you have to like adjust your head accordingly to what you're wearing. Like the Bride of Frankenstein had these giant like like linebacker football shoulder pads. So like the head had to be like come up higher. You had to have like more padding in it because you don't want it like jamming your head down.
All right.
Really long explanation.
No, that was a wonderful explanation because it also reminded me that I have actually been in a costume before for a photo shoot for a dentist's office out in California, Pasadena. Yes, that's not where you thought it was going. That's not where you thought it was going. I was a giant tooth.
Yes, a giant tooth. I knew it. What else could you be? A giant.
Yeah, I was a giant tooth. I was the guy small enough to fit into this awkward, heavy costume.
Yeah. That's I like that you make them. You don't offer it. You don't pay. You make
It-
Oh.
Yeah, this costume was fiberglass, heavy, and I'm a tooth on a calendar.
How you should open.
What's hanging up on someone's fridge as a tooth? Ooh. Enough about teeth. Let's bite into the topic.
He did it.
I did it terribly, but I did it. Our topic today is Peter Pan. Why Peter Pan?
Peter Pan has a huge significance in my life. My nana always called me Tinkerbell. Tink was her nickname for me. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I was cast in a national touring production of Peter Pan called Peter Pan 360, and I played the part of Tinkerbell. So it was like a very, it was like a really kismet-y thing. I love Tinkerbell so much from J.M. Barrie's original. She's just such an asshole. She's so fun to play. And I went on this tour for a little over a year, and I met my significant other there. So we left Neverland together. So it will always hold a really special place in my heart, not just for like an amazing job and an incredible experience of getting to fly to Neverland, but yeah, for bringing me to my guy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, little known fact, I've also played Tinkerbell in a production at Polk Theater back in Florida. Of course, it was a laser. I controlled a laser and got the. But I was Tinkerbell. I did get to fly around and interact.
This is like my big beef with the production is with most productions, because I have done the musical too. I should say that a few years after I did the tour, I did the musical Peter Pan, the like Kathy Rigby one. Oh yeah, bringing it back to fun facts is when I booked this musical, the role I played in the musical was actually the role that my boyfriend played on our tour. It was the lost boy Curly. So I was like, aha, I took your part. So I just like love living in that fairy lost boy world, like of never growing up. Like I just pledged to myself to just never grow up. But my big beef with that, with all the Peter Pans I've ever seen before, is that Tinkerbell is reduced to this little light, and it's infuriating because she's like the most like furious, like biggest personality almost in the show. So that was the real vision for the producers of this show I was on, was like, we want to see her for real. So they put her in combat boots and a tattered tutu, and like I had my like hair all crazy, and I was throwing tantrums, and it was like the first production I felt like, oh, you actually brought this character to life. So it was really fun. But yeah.
All right, well, I know my Tinkerbell's not as good, but let's jump into
Get out. You can leave. Just kidding. I know it's not your fault.
All right, I'm out. All right. So before we start recording, we rolled a four-sided dice and determined the order. Spencer's going to go first. Chris is going to go second. I'm going third this week. Spencer, take it away. You're just talking bead curtains?
Like 70s.
Like what you had the other time.
You're talking like the waterfall of light. Like the waterfall of light. Yeah.
Yeah, so not a straight up curtain. I don't know why every time you describe it, you keep describing it as a curtain. Like a solid object. I still think the bead curtain would be great.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
I'd go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. The them traveling through the different, like after they go past Big Ben and they're like flying, is this like a 3D screen thing that's like flying past them, or are we seeing like practical sets? Ah, nice. Okay,
So it's gonna be like ET or I don't know, the Disney has a ride. Peter Pan? Mhm. So it's half practical in that you're just waiting for them to close down the Peter Pan ride so you can take all their set pieces and then you'll just replace the track with something new.
is it in miniature? Are all the little practical things in miniature that you go by, or are they like life size? Well, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Spencer, I always have difficulty explaining forced perspective and then goes into a description of forced perspective.
Perfectly. Believe in yourself.
Oh, because you did not explain forced perspective in the order. But that's a different story. All right. Great. So you got a redesign of the Peter Pan ride.
But it's the
Okay.
Lost Boys. You are a lost boy.
You're a lost boy. All right. Spencer, pitch number 2.
So it's like a craft meet and greet. Okay. My question is, what is this forest you found in Kensington Gardens? Because Kensington Gardens is like the city. Because like what I'm wondering is if maybe it could just be in the fairy forest in Neverland. I'm not, because I don't,
That would make sense.
because I
But I like that there's apparently a forest in Kensington Gardens.
yeah, I actually think that's pretty funny. Maybe in like the Peter Pan statue that's like in the middle of the cobblestone square of Kensington Gardens, you like knock 3 times and the statue opens and like you enter and you're in a like secret forest. That's actually
Here's the problem with that though. Here's the problem with that. Within 2 weeks, it turns into a hipster hangout.
yeah.
Hipsters love those bars.
They love us.
Clubs.
They love
That
us.
have the secret passageways.
There's no alcohol here. There's just pixie dust.
Pixie dust.
We're all doing the quotes, right? Okay.
Yeah, we're all doing.
What is this? Oh, Chris, you are also here. What is the so they're making pixie dust, or they just get like a little party favor of a jar of pixie dust? That's cute. They're like decorating their own jar.
So your pixie dust is sand?
Sparkly sand. Sparkly.
Sparkly sand. Glitter.
I like that. I would. Let's get one thing straight, all right? There's glitter and then there's pixie dust. Pixie dust is what makes you fly, okay? Glitter is what you use on craft projects.
And what does colored sand make you do?
A magical time at a beach, okay?
Kids will be cracking those open just to eat them.
That fairy
I'm
dust,
flying now.
that pixie dust is no joke though. They would sell that in the merch area of our tour, and I would get like they would bring me a box full of jars of it, and I would literally dump like I would get half a jar and I dump it in my hair so that every time I stamp my foot or turn my head, like out everywhere. I think my lungs are probably real messed up though, you know, like when they exhume my corpse, you know, and hopefully a long time from now, my lungs are just gonna like, there's just gonna be like just fairy dust.
Well preserved.
For years after that.
No, it's pixie dust. It is not glitter. Third pitch, Spencer. Third pitch. You got Peter Pan, Lost Boys, and pixie dust.
Ooh.
So the pirates are giving them a musical show, and then Peter Pan comes and ruins it. Oh, okay. It's not a musical show put on for the guests. It's in story wise, it's not. It just happens to be a musical that the guests are watching.
It sounds to me like it's an immersive. Tell me if I'm interpreting this correctly.
It's immersive.
It's immersive in that the audience is cast as prisoners that like essentially Lost Boys again, that the pirates have taken aboard their crew. So are they like trying to induct them into becoming pirates? I think The Life of the Pirates is a great song.
Yeah. I think these need workshops.
I think we're ready for Broadway.
Here's
Without sales. I think you need to say sales one more time.
forever.
45 minutes.
Yeah. Then they replace it with Frozen. It's long.
But in like in the little shows like Disney World, those are like the little Beauty and the Beast one. Those are like 25 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like the big ones, the big scale ones that are in like the big theaters. That.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not gonna be. Plus, there's not gonna be a lot of people attending it, so we'll fill out the theater quickly.
Yeah.
Not if their heart's just gonna be broken.
Pirates Dinner Adventure and. Right. They're singing. There's even Ariel. There's like they've got a static trap and some silks and like they're very true. Yeah.
All right. So recap us. What are your 3 pitches? Great. That brings us.
No, I think the title.
And it's not Captain Hook, Line, and Sinker.
I actually think the title is the best part. I love it.
All right, Chris, you're up.
Home Underground. Home Underground. Home Underground.
No,
Yeah, that
no.
was definitely in his pitch before. For sure, it was in his pitch.
The whole underground.
It is, but it's called the home. I'm very persnickety about that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, it's like under a tree. Yeah.
Is it? It's that thing, right? Yeah. Okay, great. Got it. Okay, now.
And it's a screen. You're okay. Nice.
So, but you're lying. So the screen's going to be larger than Soaring Over California? Well, because you'd want it to curve. You'd want it to curve. Yeah, you'd want it to curve because otherwise you're constantly having to keep your neck up.
He did say it was gonna be at an angle.
Yeah, but I mean, as a result, so it's what I'm saying is because it's larger because it's not just the big screen; it also has to go down below.
It's almost like.
Is there like a goal? Like, I know, is it to beat Peter and Tink, or is it like, come on, like we're gonna show you the way, or like we've got to get the dust from the pirates or whatever? That's really on the nose for his character. Well done.
Who wins this race?
Oh, damn. But it just all the children.
Every child heartbroken.
But then like Tinkerbell can be like, get out.
You're a loser. Get out.
You're not welcome.
You can
in
buy
Neverland.
a winning picture over at the gift shop.
Who's Mary? Mary? Really? Are we sure? No, I thought it was Moira, but maybe I made that up.
I think.
Well, they both start with M's, so.
See, here's where I think you're getting confused. Moira is the mother of Green Arrow.
I can see both are green.
So he known as the sort of Robin Hood Peter Pan of.
Correct. That is also true.
That's also correct.
I know that Moira is one of Wendy's middle names. Wendy, Moira, Angela. Oh. In the Disney movie, her name was Mary.
Oh, the property we weren't using.
This has brought up a really interesting point, Chris, which is I do believe that in Jane Eyre's original book, she did not have a first name, which kind of makes me want to talk for a bit about like the autonomy of women in this time, and that like the mother was only seen as a Mrs. of the husband and like was not like autonomous in her own right. So should we all stop and this whole thing and just kind of talk about that for a while.
Mm-hmm. She was a side character and should not have been.
This is all true. Yeah. What should we give Mrs. Darling a name?
How about
Moira?
Moira.
Moira.
How about Angela?
You know, Wikipedia is a thing that anybody can go on and change. If I wanted to, I could go on there right now and change it to Moira.
How about Angela?
I'm pretty sure that the Disney movie gave her name because Disney was so about female empowerment in the 1950s. That was sarcastic. That was a bit of sarcasm. But okay, no,
Just a bit.
I'm glad we had this conversation. It's just like good to remind ourselves, you know.
I think we need to do this on every podcast. Just have like a truth bomb drop in every podcast.
All right, Mary Darlings. Wait,
Moira.
Moira.
Hold on. We're just gonna.
He's changed.
Let's changes.
I mean, the Moira in Wendy's middle name had to have come from.
There we go. Refreshed.
Wait, now I gotta find it.
Now it's Moira. It's officially Moira.
This is amazing.
What is pitch? Your pitch number 2, Moira Shadow Puppet.
This is very like story time with Belle, but with shadow puppets.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's like Belle comes out and reads a story to the kids in the town, in the quiet village, every day like the one before.
This is ringing a bell. A bell. I'm so smart. The short stories that she's telling her kids is the first one you said. We start out with Peter's shadow. Is the first story she telling about the story of Peter Pan that she tells to her kids? And is Moira Mary Darling being played by a live actor? Okay.
Wait.
Okay,
So
so
it's
it's a little movie. It's like a little movie theater you come to. Live voiceover.
so the person telling the stories we never see. Oh.
So it's pre-recorded.
Yeah. It's
But there's live actors.
that's what
Yeah, the shadows are live.
shadows are live. Okay, so this isn't a pre-recorded shadow puppetry pieces. That part is live each time. Oh, okay, wow. Neat. I have
They-
seen it and it's mind-boggling.
Do they have a wiki page?
Because they're now gonna be.
Let's change all their names to Moira.
So what is your third pitch, Chris?
The home
The
underground.
hole in the ground.
Home underground.
Home Underground.
The hole in the ground.
Made me snort.
Cloche.
It is a close. Yeah. It is.
Cloche. Yeah, I know that because it's such a fun word to say. Say it, cloche.
Are they in close contact with the cloche? Good one.
What are scoodles?
Scoodles.
That makes more sense.
I mean, I like scoodles. Are they cacao? Like cacao nibs? Oh, the pre-made ice cream that you just buy at a store. Got it.
What if you order a soup?
Yeah, I was thinking soup or like roast chicken. If it's like a giant roast chicken.
It's not going to be presentable looking.
I also have a question.
The idea is so clever, but I don't like practically. I'm like, huh? Because I feel like it would be more if you know how like mind readers kind of push you in the direction of what they want you to think, so that when they know what you're thinking, you're like, oh my God, that's what I was thinking, but it was like a subtle, arrangement. That if there's a way to do that with like an amuse bouche, so that it only happens once for every table, but like
A moose bouche would make sense.
like a tiny little bite of something, but like you would have to goad the kid into thinking about like a specific food, because there's no way that like
tuna on a cracker with some avocado on the side.
All right. What if you go crazy with this? All right. Have you seen those mahjong tables that like automatically set up the tiles for you?
What?
Yeah. They shove them all in the center and then it just stacks them all. They're very cool. Let's expand that idea. This is how we're gonna get your food. Comes out on conveyor belts. All right, lines up.
Oh no!
Opens up, pushes it up in front of them. The kitchen.
Their mouths.
it's just like one long table in this restaurant.
It's just one. It's one long table. There's a restaurant. I guess it's called a restaurant in Indiana, Lafayette, Indiana. I know for sure. There's one there called Pizza King. And Pizza King is a pizza place where they have a train that runs all through the dining room.
That's cool.
And
the Pizza Express.
That's how you get your drinks and any snacks that could fit on that the train can actually handle the weight of.
That's like the sushi.
The train comes and it stops at your station. It stops at your station.
So it's not practical. Got it.
But specific solid foods because
presentation
wise,
it kind of reminds me of the sushi restaurants with the boats that come around on the water with the sushi on them. Has anyone ever eaten at one of those?
I've eaten sushi off of
I don't like
one of those boats, but it did not come floating in on a water.
Okay, so there's a restaurant where I grew up where it was like a circular like stream essentially around the center island where the chefs were, and the sushi, it was like they were on these beautiful wooden carved boats, and there was like a current to the water, and the boat would bring the food around. Yeah.
So like a cooler conveyor belt.
Yeah.
Natural conveyor belt.
Yeah, I mean the thing you're referring to, Chris, the imagining of the food is I think that's more in the movie Hook. That they did that. I don't know if that's in the original. I think they were like foraging for.
You're doing it, Peter. You believe.
I think there's something to the idea of the food being whimsically presented. I just think it's a little overcomplicated in this false bottom.
Yeah. You're getting there, Chris. You're very close to the idea.
But I love this idea of you're in a tree root home underground, and the food is delivered in some sort of Lost Boy type way.
It's got potential, but you're gonna need to.
You got real potential.
Believe.
Yeah, so close.
All right.
Actually, it's the second time I did that joke,
is.
but the fourth time I've done a close joke. So thank you for not paying attention. Exactly.
Chris, go ahead and recap your 3 titles. Excellent. And now to close out the show.
You.
My 3 pitches. I have Set Sail to Neverland is my first attraction. This is going to take place. The queue is going to be you'll be walking along the streets sort of London, along the Thames, where you're going to be going to board your ferry, board your boat for a nice evening cruise. So we'll be boarding this ship, and as it starts to go, we're going to have some fairy dust, pixie dust sprinkled on it, and it's going to cause this boat to take flight. We're going to use through the mast portion and through some restraints on the actual ship structure, it's going to look like it's taking flight, and it's going to glide at a pace similar to the pterodactyl flyers at Universal Islands of Adventure. It's very smooth. There's no loops or anything like that, but it glides. It moves at a slower pace. I don't want this isn't a fast ride. It's meant for all families to be able to enjoy and stuff like that. But there will be some light swinging as it goes. So you'll get to take flight over the streets of London. Keep in mind, this is all an indoor set, actual set piece. And then you will go through a dark tunnel towards a bright light. And that bright light happens to be the outside, where the rest of my land is going to take place. This is going to be an entryway, essentially, into Neverland, my zone. Yes, Spencer, peace to you.
2 questions. First question is, so this is like a Hogwarts Express to Neverland, but like a ship.
Yes, that's flying.
Ish.
And I haven't finished the second half of the ride.
Oh, well, okay. But also, can you just pronounce the name of the river that you're going through again?
River Thames.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's what I thought. Thank you. Continue.
What just happened?
I have no clue.
Continue.
Yeah, he is. Okay.
Yeah, well, sounds like you know how to pronounce that river. It sounds like it. Go ahead.
Okay. You thought I didn't?
I didn't say you did either, did I?
All right. Anyways, so you're going to you'll open out into the open when we fly out of the building into Neverland. You'll have entered Neverland, at which point it's going to glide down, and it will detach from the track on the top into a boat ride for the remainder of it. So it's got a hook type deal. So that's how it's locks onto the track. It locks on into this vehicle, this part.
Does it have a Captain Hook type deal?
No. So the idea is it's going to there's a frame on the track that it hooks and sort of clamps onto, which they've done this with roller coaster portions for rides where they sort of get locked into a vehicle type piece. Essentially, it's a 2-piece system. So the piece that is part of the ship would detach from the clamp hook part that's actually connected to the track.
Go on.
So it's going to no, because it's a boat ride for the rest of it. Yes.
There's no track in the water.
There's no track in the water. No, it's the flow of the current. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Wait, hold on. I think my brain reset during this pitch. I'm very confused. So it's not a boat ride, but you're taking a boat to a boat, or you're walking into
you're
a
taking
boat.
a boat. It's the same boat. It's the same boat.
You're flying in the boat, and then the boat, once it gets into
Neverland,
my brain cannot compute this.
Lightly glides down into the water, detaches from the track. The track turns back around into the building to go hook on and latch onto the next boat, where it can be secured and all that.
How many boats are you taking?
One boat.
For the next guest, most rides are going to be ridden by multiple people.
I'm still
it's not a one and done. It's not a one and done.
You're going towards the light. What is all this beginning part? Are you go on a boat, or are you walking to the boat?
Oh my god!
You're on a boat already.
Q line, London.
So confused.
Hop into ride vehicle, which happens to look like a boat,
and that gets detached.
And that is currently attached. When you first hop on, it's currently attached because it's gone through, it's been attached and secured and everything ready to go. It's going to go at a nice leisurely pace out of London, where it sort of takes flight, rocks a little bit until you get to the outer wall of this building, of this show building. Once you're in the outer wall, you're now in Neverland, at which point it's going to lightly come down the couple of feet that it's been up above, and it's going to land in the water, at which point the roller coaster track, or the track that it was hooked to, will detach, and it will flow through.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Brad.
It's okay. Just move on. I'll never figure this out. It's fine.
So what happens once it's in the water? Then you're
I'm just confused.
So you're going to go through a river of Neverland. You'll get to see like the Mermaid Lagoon out into the ocean, see the Mermaid Lagoon and stuff, and you'll end up docking. The final point is you'll dock in the sort of pirate port area is where we were going to undock, and so that leads us into our next sort of area.
And when you're on the river in Neverland, are the mermaids and stuff, are they animatronic or is it on a 3D screen or
are they actors? Like real life actors?
It's going to be animatronics. Because I like animatronics. I think screens are getting way too overused on. Yes.
Like small world size.
Because I'm concerned, I don't want to over like weight wise deal with and stuff. At most, we're probably considering about 6 people per ride vehicle.
Oof.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hybrid of Peter Pan's flight turning into like a Pirates of the Caribbean, but into Neverland. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. All right, my second attraction is inspired by a wonderful Peter Pan film, which has actually already been mentioned, and that is Hook. I did take my second attraction inspired by that, and that is Pirates Run Home, a comedy extravaganza. Yes. It's a comedy show with light stunt work. This is not a heavily involved stunt work. It's going to be pirates playing their version of baseball, as seen in Hook. So in Hook, we have a moment where one of my favorite moments. He was stealing second, and they shoot the guy. All right. Hook then replies and says, "No, we're playing by Jack's rules." Well, in my show, we're not playing by Jack's rules. We're playing by the Pirates' rules. So it's the Pirates' interpretation of baseball. Because I wanted to see that. I think it's hilarious that it's these. Because I mean, the Pirates were at one point kids. They're just, unfortunately, they're grown up.
They're pirates, unfortunately.
So I want to see their imagination, what they think this is, and the set is going to be a pirate. Shantytown is sort of made of old boats, similar to how we see in the movies in Hook and stuff. It's all constructed from just other boats and pieces and stuff like that.
Will Glenn Close be there dressed as a pirate?
We'd have to work on contractual stuff for that. That might be out of our budget range.
That was one of the best cameos in any movie.
But
until she wins an Oscar.
But we'll get the audience will be able to be involved in sense that we'll have a lot of I love the pre-show stuff to sort of rile up the crowds and get them cheering and stuff because they're at a sporting event. I think it'd be fun to really have, as part of the pre-show, having the signs to where we could do the Run Home Jack gag. I think it's fun where they have home run flipped, and so it says Run Home Jack, hence why my show is called Pirates Run Home. So it has light stunt work in the essence of, I mean, they are quote unquote playing baseball and stuff, so there is some physical activities and physical gags and stuff, but it's not going to be a Waterworld style stunt show with explosions and
so it's like a bit of a stadium seating situation where the baseball field is like the Pirates are playing.
Yes.
Okay, and how long is the show?
So my show is going to be about 30 to 35 minutes.
So this is literally people watching actors playing baseball, and there might be some comedy mixed into this.
No, playing pirate baseball, which is nothing but comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a loosely guided comedic story of these pirates trying to play a game of baseball. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm into it.
All right. My third attraction is my biggest attraction. and it's called The Lost Boys Treetop Village. So what I've done here is I'm creating a kids play area that's separated sort of from the pirate town and that whole location. So you'd walk through a foresty woods path into the forest where we would have this kids play area where they could go. There would be climbing nets, cargo nets, and slides and stuff. I love the hook, the home underground slide that actually, like, you slid down into the old home underground. So we would have that. Obviously, it wouldn't be dusty and everything like that. It would look like it's currently being lived in, but we'd have a nice, fun slide down into that. And it'd be a very interactive kids area to get to explore and be a lost boy for the day. Now, where it gets ambitious and why I say it's my big one is because depending on the season, certain seasons and whatnot, it also offers an overnight kid camp where kids have the opportunity to actually stay the night in, just like you would at, you can do a kids camp at the zoo or at the aquarium or stuff like that. This would be specifically in the Lost Boys Treetop Village area. They would get to stay in rooms that are adjacent to the home underground. So there would actually be an expansion of rooms down there. There would be some rooms in our treetop, some bunk rooms in our treetop area. But the reason I said that you had to walk through a forest tunnel and this would be separated is because that forest tunnel is able to be sealed off, closed, and more contained from the rest of the park. So you don't have just kids roaming off. And then our counselors, our guidance counselors, our chaperones would be represented by Lost Boys or Peter Pan and Tinkerbell themselves. We might get to see Captain Hook make an appearance. And so they get to essentially become a part of the Neverland world for a night in the theme park, as sort of like you would with an overnight summer camp experience at the zoo or something like that, where you actually get to experience a little bit special games and shows and stuff that's unique to that.
So just the kids, not families. Just
correct. Correct. This is a kids camp.
Talk about how are they eating?
So it's the meal. There'll be a meal provided, dinner and breakfast provided, as well as snacks. That's all included in the. I mean, it's a great question. That's all included in the.
The way it was said was so funny.
In the cost.
I'm thinking about that. Overnight camp. So you need to provide like dinner and breakfast, right?
Yeah, dinner, breakfast. There'll be snacks and drinks and stuff.
So do people pack like bags for like a change of clothes, or like how do they go to the bathroom? They bring water
it'd be
bottles?
It'd be like you're going to they go to the bathroom in the bathroom. What are you talking about?
So, but the thing is sealed. You said they seal off. You said you seal off the
like
village.
The home underground, like there's the playground of it all, but there's also an area where there's tables for eating. There's restrooms. There's rooms with bunks or whatever.
And that. So that's it's all themed as part of the Lost Boys little village area type deal. Except as a normal day guest, I can't. If I were a kid, I can slide down and go into the home underground. I can't go into those bunk rooms and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Although I'd argue that the bunk rooms could actually be the home underground, and everything else is kind of around that.
You didn't
and then
pay attention to anything I said. Where these are rooms
You just said.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I said all the rooms are adjacent to the home underground. So you can go down to the home underground, but you can't get into the rooms that are all connected to it.
See, your words were different because I got confused. Because you said you can go down, but you can't go into the home underground during the day.
He's saying that there's the jungle gym part is separate from the camp part. So like
right, I know. Yes. Yeah, I got that. I thought I heard that the home underground was separate than the bunks.
Yeah, I'm building a bunker.
Bomb shelter.
Yeah, because you seal it off. So
literally, because there's bunks in it. Oh. Yes.
Adventureland.
No, it's located in. It's part of the park.
It's Tarzan's treehouse.
Yes. Well, first off, they'd get to their kids by probably vehicle, car.
Just drive
that's
straight through into the park.
how did they
Drive
drop
into
their
the
kids
park.
off? But no, I understand what you're saying. No, there's you're given a parent pass, essentially a special thing. So there is a security gate entrance, an emergency entrance exit, in the back portion of this that you wouldn't see if you were a normal everyday park guest. But if having worked in the parks and stuff, like there's always tons of security gates and stuff like that. So there is a specific security gate where you have a parent pass, so that you are able, in the case of emergency, to come and take care and get your kid. This also allows us an easier way to be able to drop off and pick up the kid in case. So you can check in through the main park, which is great. But I know not everybody's like, well, I don't want to spend the whole day in the park, or we don't want to walk through the park with all the crowds and stuff like that. This is a separate entrance that you can go in to essentially check in, and then you would go through into the world.
But it would still be decorated, right? Because you wouldn't.
Yes.
Okay. And like you wouldn't want the illusion to completely be destroyed when they're like.
Yeah. We would do from that side. We would do something, a transition more similar to Disney Quest. Rest in peace. It's elevator that they had, where you would you start off in a normal lobby type deal, but once you go in this elevator, it's magic takes over and Genie takes over, and we get a little bit more of an experience. That style of an idea type deal. So you'd get a sort of different experience with that to transition you in.
Okay. And the counselors are staff of the park that are dressed like Lost Boys, maybe.
Correct.
And separate from that, do we have actors who are playing the role of Peter Pan, Tink, or Captain Hook who hop in and hop out?
Yes.
It's like with some scripted bits and stuff?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. This is the one pitch I've heard that actually would include an employment opportunity for actors. I really appreciate.
I mean, musical stunt show with Peter Pan.
Oh, right. Sure. I'm talking about my dream, not your dream. Okay. As much as I would love to be a female pirate in a swashbuckling musical stunt show, and actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, I would love to do that. Pirates Adventure, if you're listening.
Also, Tinkerbell's Fairy Forest. Hello.
I know, but that was more like that. Those are more like the character meet and greets where it's like some 20-year-old that isn't an actor that just like has a young face, and they're like, here, take pictures, and like you're like. All the kids are like so fooled, but anyone that's ever been an actor is like, why are you not playing a role while you're doing this? You're just standing there and smiling. I clearly have a chip on my shoulder. I have too big a nose. I have too big a nose for Disney. I was never going to happen for me. It's okay. I have other skills and talents. Okay. Interesting. Wow, these are very complex.
All right. So to recap my rides, I have Set Sail for Neverland, Pirates Run Home, my show, and the Lost Boys Treetop Village, my play area /
Bunker.
Camp experience. All right.
Great job, everybody.
All right. Well, now comes the hard part.
Oh, golly.
You got to give out the awards. Right? Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
What are the 3 categories?
Okay, well, the 3 categories are creativity, which, for reasons, is just anything that's, for lack of a better term, creative. Practicality, which is something that, could reasonably be in a theme park in a short amount of time. And then the other one is guest favorite, which, whatever hooks your captain or, Peter's your fan. Tinker is your bell? I don't know. There's a lot of good options in here. And those are the categories.
So let's go ahead and recap our list of attractions. So Spencer, you're 3, Chris, and then myself,
I can't
Spencer.
believe I said that. I had the Lost Boys Lift Off to Adventure, Tinkerbell's Fairy Tale Forest, and Captain Hook, Line, and Sinker, a Jolly Roger Jamboree with live Tinkerbell's, Peter Pan's, and
Okay.
Lost Boys.
Chris. Great. And mine was Set Sail for Neverland, Pirates Run Home, and the Lost Boys Treetop Village. So without further ado, are you ready or do you need a moment?
I think I'm ready to
All right.
have some awards.
So now we go to you, Jessie. We'll start with
Me.
creativity, bronze and creativity.
Okay, creativity. The bronze award goes to Captain Hook, Line, and Sinker, swashbuckling musical, a Jolly Roger Jamboree.
Yes.
All right.
It's that title. It's only the title.
The title
It is a good title. It is a good title.
Thank you.
What?
Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah, in our pitches. Yeah.
Yeah.
You knew who your audience was, friends. So well
All
done.
right. For silver and creativity.
The silver award goes to Mary Moira Darling's Bedtime Stories.
And well, Wikipedia now says Mora, so you're welcome. And then finally, the gold.
The gold award goes to Pirates Run Home.
Yeah.
Extravaganza. Well, yeah, I thought it was a very multi-layered, clever pitch in that it's a thing that only true Pan fans would really understand, but it takes what was already a really creative moment in a really creative movie and makes it accessible to a theme park audience, which I just, well done.
Yeah. So then let's jump into practicality. Bronze for practicality.
The bronze award is going to go to the Lost Boys restaurant. With the caveat that I gotta nix that very wildly impractical, magically appearing student.
You got that one. It was a close shave.
But I think the idea of a Lost Boys Home Underground themed restaurant where you go through the hole in the tree and maybe you slide down even, and there's a stair and a slide, so people that want to walk can, people that want to slide can, and there's like an elevator for accessibility reasons, and then you're like in the home underground and everything's themed and the tables are branches and your servers are dressed like Lost Boys, and maybe like there's some character appearances, and I think that's just would be a delight.
That's the pitch right there.
Yeah, just get rid of that magic trick.
And look, the food can be brought in a magical way. I think you're onto something with the magic.
Just put a little pixie dust on it.
The magical way, but what I'm gonna say is maybe there's like a line, and like you can. It looks like the food flies to your table or something like that. You know what I mean?
All right.
The silver award is gonna go to Tinkerbell's Fairy Forest in Kensington Gardens. I think having a fun little fairy area where you can do photos and you get to decorate a little craft project is very doable and very easy and fun and interactive for kids. So I like that.
And then finally, the gold in practicality.
The gold in practicality goes to Race Through Neverland. That was Chris's Soarin' Over California.
Yep.
I feel, Spencer, you had a similar pitch, but Chris, I just have to say yours was a little more clearer, like a little more well thought out with the.
Mine was different and it was not clear at all, so it's fine.
I just think it's clever that you have the gimmick of come on, let's race. And there, immediately, you're just racing through Neverland and it screams and it's fun and you're soaring and it's great. So yeah, I think that.
Very practical.
Yeah.
All right. That brings us to guest favorite, where you decide the rules.
Y'all, you didn't make this easy for me. I truly have to say, I really loved everybody's ideas. Just that's a caveat. Beautiful ideas all the way around.
Great.
Okay.
You're too kind.
Bronze award goes to Mary Moira Darling's Bedtime Stories. I love the idea of him playing shadow puppet Peter and telling bedtime stories. I think that is just divine. Okay. The silver goes to Set Sail to Neverland.
Hey!
You're flying in the boat and then you're in the water and you're going through Neverland and there's sweet, sweet, nostalgic animatronics. Yeah, baby, give it to me. Peter Pan really gets me going.
This is just gonna be the commercial for that ride.
The gold award for guest favorite is gonna go to the Lost Boys Treetop Village.
Yeah.
I know you didn't ask, but I'm gonna tell you why. I think this is something that I just would have loved so much as a child, to be able to have a sleepover with the Lost Boys in Neverland. What a special experience. And I think now as an actor, I would very much enjoy booking a role where I got to be Tinkerbell flying into Peter Pan or Lost Boy come in and being like, hey, you gotta help us fletch these arrows. I just think there's a lot of really cool ideas for different themed activities, and it could just be a really extraordinary way to help kids continue to believe in magic, Yeah.
Thank you.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah. Take this whetstone and go and sharpen my blade.
I have to say, from all the fairy gigs I do now, and I just think it's really important to kind of keep that kids' imaginations alive and their creativity going. And sometimes when it's led by a character or they're in a circumstance where there's stakes like this, it's gonna get them participating. So I think that could be really special.
Well, there we have
Some
it.
might
There
say-
are the awards.
Some might say, Jessie, that you hold magic very close to your heart.
Oh, it is true, Spence.
Now it just sounds like you're not saying things properly.
Sorry, I did that one time. Sorry.
I do hold magic close to my heart.
Well, thank you so much, Jessie, for joining us today. Before we close, do you have anything that you would like to plug or say?
Oh, sure. Okay, something I'd like to say, everybody, is never grow up. All right. Something I'd like to plug is, speaking of never growing up and believing in magic, I have an Etsy shop where I do personalized fairy care packages and fairy lanterns and fairy treasures, trying to keep that magic alive for people through the mail system. So yeah, if you'd like to check out those fairy goodies, that is www.FairylandDelights.etsy.com.
And we'll make sure to have that link in our description for the podcast. So if you're not good at writing things down, you can at least click the link.
Right. Yeah.
And it'll take you there.
And then click add to cart and then click pay.
Yeah, and for acting stuff, check me out on Instagram at the Jessie Sherman, and check out my website, jessiesherman.com. Check
You
out.
have it.
Yeah, check
it out.
Check it out.
Check it out. Well, that brings our show to a close.
Ew.
It felt terrible doing it, but
It was great. It was great.
thank you again so much for joining us, Jessie. With all that said, I've been Brad.
I'm still Spencer.
Bye.
Bye.
Did you enjoy the episode you just watched? Feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And if you have an interpretation of an idea based on the theme of the week, feel free to tag us on social media with hashtag Theoretical Thrills, and we may feature your ride and attraction on the show.
Theoretical thrills, the theory of the thrill.